Welcome to Get Started Investing. In this podcast, we cover all the basics you need to start your investing journey. We unpack all the jargon and confusing bits, hear your investing stories with the goal of making it less intimidating. And we want to have a good time along the way. My name is Bryce, and as always, I'm joined by my equity mate, Ren. How's it going?
I'm very good, Bryce. We always have a good time along the way.
That's true, we do.
That's
always.
Equity Mates has a few official policies. Maybe that should be our fourth one.
Have fun.
Have a good time along the way.
Always have fun. So this episode, as we are kicking off 2021, is a back to basics episode, and we want to address part of the why investing is important, why we like to invest. So today we're going to be talking about, rather than working for the company, why not just own the company?
Well, wait. I just want to invest because I want more money.
I mean, that's fair. There are a lot of reasons why investing is important, but also I think this is more about why investing is a good idea.
Well, yeah, why investing in stocks is our preferred manner of investment. I mean, there's no wrong way to invest. Well, sorry, that's not true. You shouldn't invest in, like, I don't know, 6-year-old chocolate bars or something, because they don't hold their value that well. But for us, stocks are the investment choice that make the most sense to us. And a key reason why is because of what you're actually buying. Yeah,
absolutely. Before we crack into that, though, just want to make mention that we now are doing a bit of a listener mailbag towards the end of the episode. You have the opportunity to go onto our website and leave a voice message. We have one from Jimmy, who has a great question around platforms and what you can do if they go down, or how to change from different types of brokers. So stick around for that. But Ren, let's crack into it.
Yeah, let's do it. So I think let's set the scene. Most people out there, you and I included, we make our money from a company. We get a job with a company. You were very nervous that first day you went for the interview at Woolies, sweating your hair gel out of your hair.
Mate, I nailed it.
Got the job. Still surprised you got the job. And then for the rest of most people's lives, it's you rely on the company that you work for to grow wealth. Every year you hope you get a performance review and you get a pay bump. If you're lucky enough to get bonuses at your work, you're hoping that your boss puts in a good word for you and you get a good bonus. And for most people, you work for the company.
Yeah.
Investing is the opportunity to flip that on its head and to actually own the company and have the people that work for the company work for you.
Love that.
So
I can get CEO of Woolworths, Brad Banducci, or CEO of Coles,
Stephen Kane.
Or
CEO of Equity Mates, Alec Renahan.
Co-CEO. Investing gives you the opportunity to directly benefit from, I guess, the decisions that they are making and the overall performance of the company.
Yeah. Now, there's probably two things that are important to establish at the outset. The first one is that when you're buying a share, you're not just buying a piece of paper. You're not buying a 3-letter ticker code. You're buying an ownership stake in that company. As a shareholder, you own whatever fraction of the company you own through the shares. You have the right to, vote in at annual general meetings and stuff like that. And the company pays you dividends as part of the profit it's making. It pays out to you as an owner of the company. So that's the first thing to establish, that you're a part owner. The second thing to establish is that all company executives, CEOs, CFOs, CIOs, all the
CTO,
C's and all the O's.
The C-suites, yes.
Yeah. They're all of their pay, they're incentivized to make money for shareholders, to make money for the owners of the company. For a lot of them, their base pay will change based on their shareholder return, is often how you hear it. But importantly, all of their bonuses are most of their bonuses are tied to shareholder return. So the CEO, the executives, the decisions they're making often are driven by their personal financial incentives, and their personal financial incentives is to make money by making shareholders money. So if you think about how that flows down in a company, the CEO wants to hit their bonus by, giving their shareholders a return, and then all the decisions that they make in the company are centered around that. The new businesses they're investing in, the new people that they hire, the new countries that they try and sell their products in, whatever it is, even things like the businesses that they close or sell off, their personal financial incentive is to do all of that to make you as the shareholder money. So by just buying a share, you have the opportunity for these CEOs to be incentivized to make you more money. That's not bad.
It's not bad.
It's
actually really exciting.
It flips it on the head from begging the CEO or whoever your boss is to get a pay rise.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we've established that, yes, and of course this is not to say that you can do this and not work full time. Like this is something
still beg for the pay rise.
Still beg for the pay rise. But this is an opportunity to start, developing wealth. But I think one of the most exciting parts, Ren, is that so I can invest in Woolies if I'm working there and have the boss work for me, so to speak. But if you look at the bigger picture, some of the greatest innovators in history have then commercialized their product or their business through the stock market.
That's it.
And that then gives you and I, the everyday investor, access to some of the brightest, game-changing minds in the world from literally our bedroom.
Yeah, yeah.
Pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, don't just think about your boss working for you. Think of your dream boss, that boss that you have that poster of him or her up on your wall, that you have a downlight shining on them. I think for Bryce, or actually it might have been Brad Banducci for you, or it might be Nick Molnar, the Afterpay CEO. He might be up on your
dream
wall.
Boss. Let me think about that one. I'll come back to you.
Elon Musk, maybe Jeff Bezos, whoever you think the best CEOs in the world are. By investing in their companies, they are then incentivized to make you money. Everything that they do is based on that. It is getting their bonuses and making shareholders wealthier, and you can be one of those shareholders. And I mean, let's take a tour through history. Like as you said, some of the greatest innovations in history have been commercialized by the stock market. So the telephone. Pretty big.
Pretty big. It's done pretty well for itself.
I'd say top 10.
Yeah.
Alexander Graham Bell, the inventor of the telephone, commercialized through AT&T, which was what the company's called now. It was Bell Telephone back in the day, but same company, just with a number of name changes. But that was listed on the stock market. Electricity. Not bad.
Pretty big.
Done well for itself over the years. I mean, Thomas Edison was the inventor that really commercialized electricity through General Electric. Again, his company, publicly traded. You could have bought shares in GE as Thomas Edison was doing his work. If we rip through a few more, mass-produced cars, Henry Ford, one of the pioneers of that. Obviously, Ford, publicly tradable. Home appliances, fridges, washing machines, dishwashers.
Pretty big.
You get it. George Westinghouse, key in that, kicking around the same time as Thomas Edison. Westinghouse Electric was publicly traded, recently has been acquired and is now a subsidiary of another company. But while George Westinghouse was doing his thing, you could invest. If we go more modern, these are some of the more tried and true ones that we're all going to be familiar with. The personal computer, Bill Gates was instrumental in that. You could have invested in Microsoft. Smartphones, Apple, Steve Jobs, obviously publicly traded, currently worth $2.3 trillion US. Electric cars, Tesla, Elon Musk, obviously publicly traded. And even things like the switch to online retail, you could have invested in Amazon and had Jeff Bezos working for you for the past, 27 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So through those examples, Ren, I hope it has become clear that, again, don't work for the company, own the company. The stock market provides an opportunity to invest in some of the most innovative, game-changing companies in the world. But the other part to consider is that these companies are then going out and hiring the smartest people in the world. They are pouring money into research and development. They are trying to absolutely change industries, and it's now so easy as a retail investor and an everyday investor to own parts of these companies. So look, if we haven't made it clear enough, don't work for the company, own the company. So Ren, why does all of this matter as a beginner investor?
I think it matters for two reasons. First of all, it matters in terms of when you're deciding what assets, what investments you want to make. Like, do you want to invest in property? Do you want to invest in gold? Do you want to invest in companies or like the stocks? And then the second part of it is then in terms of what actual companies you want to buy. And I think in the first one, and you touched on this before, but the reason that we love stocks is because they change and they change based on the people in them. And there's this example of Amazon. When it listed in 1994, it was a online bookseller that from memory had a few thousand people working for it. If you just held it, it is now an online everything seller and a web services business that has 1.3 million employees. And that's the first thing. It's why we think stocks are great. But then the second reason is, I guess, what stocks you want to buy.
Yeah. And just one more point on that before we do that, what stocks you want to buy. I also think it's worth pointing out that if you want to build wealth, and I'm talking about sort of serious wealth, you might be able to do that through becoming sort of a CEO or the likes. But if you look at the richest people in the world, they've all done that through the equity market, through having ownership in a business that appreciates in value over time. So if you do want to start building significant wealth, the stock market and owning these companies is a great way for you to do it. So you're less reliant on scrounging for that pay rise and working your way to the top.
Put it this way. Who richest two people in the world at the moment?
Elon Musk,
Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
If they didn't own stock in the companies that they founded and they just got a CEO level salary, call it like, I don't know, $10 million a year, which is an unbelievably high salary still.
Well, I could actually say that Bezos is actually on 81,000.
Well, there you go. Yeah. But if he didn't own any stock, he probably would have got paid more than that. Let's say they got $10 million a year. To become a billionaire, they would have had to take that salary and not do anything with it, like not spend a cent of it for 100 years to become a billionaire on like the best salary in the world.
Yeah.
You don't build wealth from your salary. You got to use your wealth and then invest it.
Equity is where you build wealth. Equity, mate. All right. So, Ren, to your point, it's about what stocks can you buy and taking action. So this is probably where the important part of the conversation happens.
I reckon the last part was pretty important.
Yeah, fair call.
So
how do we take action on this? What should we be thinking about in terms of, what companies do we want to be buying and owning? And who do we want working for us?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like, imagine you're the boss. Like, you're the boss of your investment portfolio, and think about all these CEOs when they're doing interviews, when they're releasing their annual reports. Think of them as doing a job interview for you. They're interviewing to get into your portfolio.
Yeah, bring in Elon, sit him down.
Sweating like Bryce was during his interview at Woolies. But really, that's how you have to think about it. Companies only want to hire the best people, and you got your job because the company thought you were the best of all the applicants that they could have possibly hired. Same thing here. Like, when you only want to own the best people and the best companies.
Yeah.
You don't want to own average. You want to only own the best.
Yes. But you also want to own them in industries that are going to be the best. To your point before, you don't want to be using your analogy, buying the 6-year-old chocolate bar industry.
If you'd asked me when I was fishing for that, I wouldn't have thought it came back into the conversation.
Me either. Glad we brought it back. Close that loop. But not only do you want the right bosses, but you want the right industry. So we've got a list here of some industries that we think are ones to, I guess, keep an eye on, and some of the companies within these industries that would be pretty cool to have working for you.
Yeah. I don't know. Do we just want to read the list?
I don't think we want to read the whole list.
No.
We can share that in our show notes, but perhaps call out a
Well,
couple of your favorites.
I think the point is in the same way that we talked about, home appliances, mass-produced cars, electricity, all of those innovations, which we now just take for granted, but created huge amounts of wealth for investors and for the people that founded those companies. It's not like innovation stopped. There's some crazy innovation happening in the world today, and there are going to be founders that become billionaires off the back of it. One industry, I think, will create the world's first trillionaire.
Yeah.
Do you want to have a guess what that is?
Space mining.
Space in general. And we have the opportunity to invest in them all right now, today, through the stock market. And that's pretty cool, and that's better than buying a block of land. No, I don't want to make this a property-based stocks thing, but you know where I stand. So yeah, some of the industries. Space, obviously
Massive.
a big one.
Yes. Look, I'm a fan of the renewable energy space that's going on at the moment. I don't have sort of many direct investments, but of course it's hot and it's only going to continue growing and innovating.
Yeah. Well, I think all of these, I'm just looking down our list, I'm pretty confident all of them, bar one, which we'll touch on in a sec, has an ETF that tracks it. So the other thing is, if you love the theme, you don't have to pick the particular company. If you don't feel comfortable with it, you can just invest in an ETF that just holds it all. But yeah, another one for me, like artificial intelligence, machine learning, that often spoken about. It's coming. The robots are coming.
The robots are coming. Yes. We've got meat alternatives.
Yeah, this is the one that I don't think there's an ETF for.
You've got the Beyond. Yeah, let's have a look. I'm actually not sure if there's a niche ETF in that space.
If you want to invest in it, there's two big companies that are publicly traded: Beyond Meat and Impossible Foods.
Yeah.
Both plant-based meat makers. A lot of the big food companies are getting in on it as well. The cool thing in this space, I reckon, is lab-grown meat that's coming. But anyway, let's not go too far down that rabbit hole. Some other ones, like autonomous vehicles, self-driving cars, like virtual reality, augmented reality, all that stuff that's going on.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah, so many. Future of farming, like drone precision farming, robots planting crops, all that stuff. 3D printing. Should we just keep going about like cutting edge technologies? Personalized medicine, new cancer treatments.
It's all pretty exciting, to be honest. But I think the main message here is that there is plenty of opportunity to have the best, the brightest, the smartest, most innovative people and companies working for you in industries that are, have huge growth potential in front of us. So what we'll endeavor to do is get a list of those ETFs in the show notes that relate to some of the industries that we've just spoken about. And also sign up to our Get Started Investing newsletter that goes out every Tuesday with this episode. And we'll include some of the ETFs in that as well. You can go to equitymates.com/email to sign up to that.
So I think in terms of takeaways, the big takeaway for me is that you don't need to do anything out of this episode other than get really excited. Like if you're like, this makes a lot of sense. There's an amazing opportunity for me to invest, and it's never been easier for me to start investing. That's enough. And over the course of the future episodes, we'll break down some of the more, I guess, the mechanics of actually doing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, for us, this is the why. Like, it is just it's unprecedented and unparalleled how easy it is to access these companies and the opportunity that exists in terms of all of these crazy things that are happening.
Giving me excitement.
I know.
Friend.
I want to go invest.
No, it is super exciting, and we hopefully you took out some of our excitement from that discussion. But as we said at the start of episode, Ren, we do have a mailbag to close it out.
Yes.
The question has come in from Jimmy. We'll have a quick listen to it now.
G'day fellas, my name's Jimmy. I'm 39 years old and I'm just starting out investing, and I'm trying to choose a platform. I like the look of Perla, but they're only in the beta stage, so it's early on, and that raised this question for me. If I choose a platform like Perla or Robinhood and they go bust, do I lose all of the money that I've invested using that platform, or do I still have access and I can just transfer my shares over to a new platform? Cheers.
So, Ren, what Jimmy wants to know really is what happens to his shares if the broker goes down, and can he transfer them out to another one?
Yeah. So I'm going to answer the second part of that question first. So when you sign up with a broker, you can change at any time, and every broker offers the ability to transfer shares on and off their platform. So, if you're signed up with ComSec, say, and you decide you want to move to Superhero, you can initiate a transfer. There's normally some kind of a fee to sometimes.
And it is super easy to do.
Yeah. I can't actually say I've ever done it, but
I've done it a couple of times.
Yeah.
Super easy.
So the first part of the answer is you can transfer at any time. The second part of the answer is around if a broker collapses. So like Jimmy was talking about Perla?
Yep.
Not Parler.
Perla.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not Parla. Perla.
And if they were to collapse, the long and the short of it is, yes, your shares are safe, and yes, you can transfer them to another broker. Now, you will hear a discussion around different ways that these shares are kept safe, either on a HIN, a HIN, or in a custodial model. You don't need to worry too much about that. Some people prefer having a HIN themselves, but the long and the short of it is either the HIN itself or the custodian will keep it safe. And so if something like Perla or any of these other online brokers fall down, your shares are safe and you can transfer them.
And you would have, if you had listened to the Broker Basics series with Superhero, then you would have found out a little bit more information about the HIN and custodial model and those sorts of things. But Jimmy, we hope that answers your question. That brings us to the end of the episode. A call out to our community, though, and that
actually, sorry. Just if Jimmy wants to know actually how to do it, contact the broker's support page, and they'll tell you
it's
how
just
to
a
do it.
form.
Yeah.
It's very simple. But as I was saying, a call out to our community. We do need your help. This podcast, Get Started Investing, is all about breaking down the barriers for beginner investors and making it less intimidating. The best way to work out what these big hurdles are, though, is to hear it directly from you guys. So we're asking for you to share your story with us. It's really simple. Head to equitymate.com/contact. You would have heard we have the ability to leave us a voice message, which Jimmy has done, and you can get in touch and we can bring you on the show and help you work through some of the barriers that you might be facing in your investing journey, which inevitably is going to help everyone else as well. So hit us up, equitymate.com/contact, and also head over to our main show, Equity Mates Investing Podcast, if you're feeling a bit adventurous and like you're ready to take that next step. But Ren, as always, it's been fun. Looking forward to chatting about another basic topic and fundamental of investing next week.
Sounds good.